Well, hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show. It's the one and only Bridgeman. I don't know where he's been, maybe a bit of bail involved. And my mucker big outside, who's in, let's just say, a rather interesting mood, to say the least. How we doing, Jim?
Aye. evening Ox, evening Bridge, and good evening to everyone listening out there this evening.
Can I just say a huge good evening to you guys? Massive good evening to the boys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Southside, mucker.
Aye.
I'm no one for spreading rumours, as you well know. But I'm hearing there was an incident in a shop, a rather big shop near Annie's Land Cross. Yes. Let's say it used to be a Safeway and it's no longer.
Oh, right, I know where I know what it is.
And
right.
Non-payment of goods. Yes, hearing this rumour.
Right. Is it somebody we know?
Somebody not too far away. Non-payment of goods. Wouldn't be the first time in his life that's ever happened, but Mr. Mash proceeded to
I
think I heard them say, is this the excuse he used before? Buy one, get one free?
That's what he thought. He thought that's what it was. Let's just say, Mr. Bridgeman, guilty as charged.
Okay, so well, I've heard that, and not one or two times.
I think that security guard had big red cheeks after running down the street.
How we doing, Bridgeman? Great to hear from you, mate.
I'm doing well, pal. My wee wife's looking a lot better. She's getting up and about better.
There's no many men would put themselves forward like you, Bridge, and leave all the ironing until she's fit for doing it. I think that's
actually, I did say that to her. I started ironing some of the stuff, but I says I'll need to take a rest, dog.
I just think superb, mate. You're just looking after it. You know what I mean? Right, okay. Right, we're going to have to talk about this football. Southside, if that's all right with you, I think we'll have the view for the Bridge, and then we'll hear from you, mucker. Yeah?
Aye. Pass on, right, mate. Sounds good.
Right. If that's all right with you, let's hear the view from the Bridge.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to A View from the Bridge. For Sunday's game, Dundee United versus Rangers at Tannadice, Sunday the 20th of February 22, SPFL Premier League game. Well, this is probably one of our worst away league performances and results, but to be honest, that I've seen from a Rangers team in many a long time. Plenty of effort in the second half, but no winning result. Also, the performance of the match officials were just dreadful. 3 valid penalty claims against the United defenders denied. Probably unseen would be the continuous excuse from the referees and so on. This is not the first time I've highlighted this type of nonsense this season. The SFA also must get the ball boys sorted out. It's graceful that the goalkeeper's got to run from the goal right out to the corner flag to pick up a ball because these wee guys don't want to give Rangers it. Again, back to the Rangers, anti-Ranger stuff. The Rangers hatred is coming out and it's there all the time now. 5 or 6 instances of jersey pulling against some players. I believe United deliberately trained their players to take it in turn, to take it out on Ryan Kent and Morelos in particular. And any way they could. The compliant Scottish media will tell us that Dundee United were brilliant and that it was a tremendous game. Well, not for me, it wasn't. To me, as I've just said, it was just dreadful. All of the authorities, SFA and SPFL, need to get their heads together and find a way of getting VAR into our game very quickly, because these inept performances cannot go on. The referees and linesmen, just terrible. Surely it's got to come. After watching a series of continuous assaults on our players, I'm very concerned that the haters have won and we are wasting our time. The final 30 minutes of the game, we ran ourselves into the ground. We had about 90% of the ball in that time, just couldn't get the winning goal. Admittedly, they had like 5 main defenders across their 6-yard box, and the rest of them but get in there too. So nearly every shot that we tried was going to get blocked because there's too many people in the box to get it through them. Mostly because of the match officials, I must admit, that these things were happening. But anyway, the game. Rangers didn't get started properly and United were playing the high ball game, and it proved good for United. Goldson and Tav seemed lost at times, the ball going in between them. We didn't know how to cope with it. Once again, throughout the first half, we only appeared for a few minutes at a time in the first half. In patches, United pressed us highly, put enormous pressure on our defence, and it paid off for them. In 29 minutes, a United corner conceded by Goldson and taken by Levitt. A great cross, which was met by Graham, who beat Tellender to the ball, and he headed the ball into the net. And it was a really good goal. If that had been our players that played that scored that goal, I'd have been jumping up and down. Our defensive play was just dreadful. Rangers continued to press and attempts. They get required the equaliser before half time, but to no avail. And 30 minutes, the first booking for a shot pull on a Rangers player, Ryan Kent, who flicks the ball past two defenders and he's away. But Ryan Reynolds tries to rip the shirt off his back. Yellow card to Edwards. Should have been a red. For me, red card. In 34 minutes, the second booking for a foul on a shot pull on a Rangers player. Morelos gets pulled back by Graham, the guy that scored the goal. Gets a yellow card. 39 minutes, the third booking for a foul for a shot pull on a Rangers player. Haribo. What? Showing the yellow card. What on earth is the referee doing? Where's these wee warnings like next player, they're getting off, they're going off. Anyway, half time, Dundee United 1, Rangers now. Second half begins. Rangers came out with great determination and played some great passages of passing, but couldn't find a winning pass. Our fans should be applauded for never-ending support. They're just magic. 75 minutes, a great pass by Kent down the left wing for Bassey to run onto and get in a great low pass back for Aribo to just smash the ball into the net. Just fabulous. 1-1. 1-1 for the famous. Rangers took heart from that goal and redoubled their efforts to get into the winning goal area. No chance. It was one-way traffic towards United goal, but we still couldn't get it. And except for one terrible shot pull back on young Sakala. And unbelievable stuff. Referees standing there, never gave it. Just terrible. So lots of penalty claims, in my opinion. It could have been a number of players sent off. Play by player, I only gave our team 7 out of 10 for everybody except Kent, who get 8. I thought Kent was particularly good for us out of the way we played. Statistics: possession, Dundee United 26%, Rangers 74%. Total shots: 5 for Dundee United, 30 for Rangers, and 27 of them were blocked. Incredible stuff. Shots on target: 2 for Dundee United, 3 for Rangers. Corners: 6 for Dundee United, 11 for Rangers. Fouls: 12 for Dundee United and 6 for Rangers. And this is the end of A View from a Bridge.
View from a bridge. Can't take it anymore. View from a bridge. Can't take it anymore.
Right, thanks for that, Bridge. Some interesting stuff in there. And listen, we'll have a second sort of view for the Bridge. We'll just quickly get Southside's thoughts. We'll give him the floor for a few minutes. That's all right with you, Bridge, man?
No problem.
Yes, okay. On you go, Southside. Just use your thoughts, mate.
I thought overall, their tactic was to try and get a set piece against us, mate. I think the first 6 minutes, the first 2 minutes, they'd played the ball 6 times into our sort of defence. But I thought after that, we settled down, mate. I thought we played some good football without creating many chances. Thought Arfield should have had a shot when he got opened up when Kent made the run down the wing. Thought he should have a shot. I watched them in the warm-up before the game, and they were taking shots for just outside the box, either foot into the corners. And yet when he gets presented with a chance just a couple of yards inside the box, he tries to pass it to Alfie, which I thought was criminal. I thought he should have shot, and if he probably shoots, he probably scores. Second half, mate, I thought we dropped off it for a bit. First 10 minutes, I thought we gave them a bit too much respect. I thought once we made the sub, Sakala came on and caused them a bit more problems down the right-hand side. But overall, mate, desperately disappointed. disgusted and I'm scunnered with a whole lot of it, mate. That's how I feel with dropping the points.
Mm-hmm.
We might have played all right.
It's all right, but it's all about winning again.
Aye, it's about getting the 3 points, mate, and that's something that's criminal that we didn't grind out the 3 points. So that's the sure note, mate, and it's just not good enough, isn't it? It's not good enough, mate.
You put your finger on it. Were we too kind to the team for Thursday night? Should we have shaken it up and had the guys on the bench to bring them on?
I think maybe, well, he put Hollander in, right? I wasn't, when I seen the team, I thought, right, okay. But as the game went on, I thought we could have probably changed that. But talking to a couple of people about us at the game, we thought they'd be a sub at half time. Probably thought Sakala might come on and take Arfield off. But that didn't happen. And then when he did make changes, I thought I might have flung Roof on instead of Diallo. But it's his choices, mate. But nah, we've dropped 2 points, and we've dropped too many points in the last 4 away games. It's just simply not good enough, mate. Performance-wise, we played some nice, neat bits of football. But at the end of the day, it's the result that matters, and it's the result we never got.
With record number of touches in the opposition box, mate, and scored 1 goal. So we've obviously done something right.
But shooting from outside the box as well. I mean, Kent had one near the end. He tried to cut across. He was a spark. Bridge, I thought Bassey done well.
Very good game.
And also thought Tav tried to drive forward. I thought Ryan Jack tired a bit because he's been out for so long. But apart from that, there was even Aribo. He scored, but he was in and out the game, you know, and I don't know if he was tired or what. But you try and keep him on the park to get a spark and hope that he was going to do what he done, which was score. But in all honesty, at times you probably could have took him off before he scored, and when nobody would have probably said anything about it at the time.
You know, I'm seeing this Southside. I listen to what you're saying, and I agree 100% with every word you've said. But the referees and the referee and his team were absolutely shocking and so anti-Rangers. It's not.
I get that, Bridge. I get that. But I mean, the handball, I can actually put up an argument that the boys try to move out the way, but the Sakala one was shocking. But Bridge, you're not certainty to score. Apparently, you might not score. I know. But we've got to. Southside says in these situations we should be burying teams. When we went 3-2 up at Ross County and they were on the ropes, we should have went for the throat and buried them. And all of a sudden, there's 4 points more. The Aberdeen man. Yeah. Yesterday was one of the days. One of the days, if it was in isolation, Southside.
It is one of the days, right? But it's at the business end of the season, right? We can't be having any one of these days. We've gave him a chink of light a couple of weeks ago. And now we've opened him another wee bit extra chink of light. Aye, we can still go and shut that door. But right now, it's just not good enough for the last 4 away games, you know. We can't be shipping points. We've got St Johnstone a week on Wednesday. And that's a game where we'll need to be bang on it. But I mean,
we beat Motherwell first.
Motherwell and Ibrox, aye. But when you for Thursday, mate, to now, it was like night and day. Do you know what I mean? Absolute night and day. We'll
used to go and speak to Fox and give a couple of Ovaltine and a couple of things just to calm you down. We'll get these phone lines open. Is that all right? We used to.
Aye, mate, aye.
Was it Ovaltine or Horlicks for you, Southside?
Horlicks.
All right, okay. Hear that, Fox? Right, okay. Custard cream or a gypsy cream?
Custard.
Good choice. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye, I get it. I thought we had some decent performances. I've got to say, Southside, that in the second half, I thought our 2 fullbacks were trying to drive us on, if I'm being honest. And the boys in midfield were working hard. But what they were doing, with 30 yards for goal, at times they had 11 players behind the ball. So there was no space, you know, and there was a couple of times we thrown in high balls. Well, we're not that kind of team, mate, are we?
No, you'd have thought even maybe with 5 minutes to go, you could have flung Goldstone up or something and just punted high balls in and hope something breaks, you know. And I know there's no our style of play, but we're going to win a league, you know. But they were sitting deep when it was down to us to break them down.
Aye.
And he obviously brought Dalio on to try and do that down the flank. We had Sakala down there at one point. Maybe with the way the ball was bouncing about the box and we weren't just connecting, maybe Ruffon might have been, because that's the type of goals where he sort of nicks in and gets,
Aye. I'll give you something, mate, and I don't want to ever go at the boy. The boy might turn out to be the next Messi, but I doubt it. But what I will say is he's not ready to play in our first team. The manager and whoever, the coaching staff, are going to see that, admit it, and move on. The boy might come back and become a big star. At this moment in time, he ain't ready to play in our first team, you know. Anyway, we've been joined by Juicy Bear. How we doing, Juicy? There's a conversation I never thought I'd have on here. How we doing, Juicy?
Good evening, guys. How you doing?
Good to hear from you, mate. Good to hear from you. Got the bug?
Yeah, I have.
Good. Carry on, mate. What was your thoughts?
Well, I just wanted to put a bit of positivity on it because I know everyone's feeling a wee bit down, and it's understandable. But the performance was not the worst that we've seen this season, and I just want them to play with some of that urgency that we saw later in the second half through the earlier parts of the match, because plenty of other people have said it as well, that we don't take it to teams early enough. And this was the same under Gerrard, wasn't it? That we start quite slowly in some games, and sometimes we don't wake up until we're behind. And you think, why can't we just take it to them, get a goal up, get 2 goals up, and start to make some changes then? And the youngsters can come on like Ahmad and have a little bit more confidence. And there was a lot of pressure on that kid yesterday coming on, and he did some good things. He also made some bad decisions as well, and running himself out of play, the offside call when he should have just played to the whistle, shooting instead of crossing. If he's going to shoot, that needs to go in, because otherwise you're going to get lambasted for it. And the talent's there, but the decision making isn't quite there yet. He also pulled out on 50-50 as well, which my dad absolutely lost his head over. But these are the options that we've got. We've brought these players in. Unfortunately, Ramsey was out yesterday, and the jury's still out on some of these guys. We want them to do well. There's still plenty of games left. This is still in our hands, guys, but only just. Because rather than winning every game and drawing at Parkhead, we probably now need to maybe win at Parkhead. I'm still not convinced they're going to win every single game. But, teams go in and out of form. I don't want to have to rely on anyone else to win this league, though. So
no,
if that means we've got to win 11 games, then it's going to be hard. But it's not impossible. If we can put that level of performance that we saw in the second half into these matches, we will beat most teams. We were unlucky with some of the refereeing calls yesterday, but we can't rely on that alone. Like you said, Oxger, if we get a pen, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to score it. You'd like to think we would, but we were screwed on some of those decisions yesterday. Yeah. I know we're not the only team, so it's not just us that have had bad calls in a season. We do probably need VAR. We are cheap, though, in the SPFL, and we're probably not going to get that anytime soon, so let's not get too excited about that. But it is still in our hands, guys, but only just. But we are going to have to win a couple of old firm derbies for sure, unless they drop points elsewhere. So we can't rely on that. We're going to have to play with a different game plan at Parkhead this time and take it to them. And obviously we've got the Ibrox game first. But before that, we've got plenty more league games. And we've got to win those first.
We've got to start the winning at Motherwell. Listen, one thing I don't want to do is, look, I was as disappointed as anybody yesterday with young Diallo on. I'll go to Southside for this. He didn't play well. I just think he's a kid that's not ready. And we've seen that. But he wasn't the only reason we didn't get 3 points yesterday. Do you want to take up some of Juicy's points, Southside?
I mean, I get your point, Juicy, right? He didn't go into the 50-50. Right?
We talked to me there, Juicy.
He was criminal, mate, right? 50-50 ball, doesn't he go in for it, right? he's no. I'll agree. He get flung in up at the Chamber of Secrets. Right, he shouldn't have been playing in that game. He got a wee flyer and scores a goal against Ross County. But yesterday, decision making. He's Man United's player, right? And we've brought him in. We're going for a league championship here. We need to go into the Champions League and we need to be league champions. So for me, if he's getting in his contract that says he's got to play every week, I'd just rip it up and send him back to Man United, because we need players in there that know what they're doing and are going to give 100%. If you think pulling out a tackle yesterday is giving 100%, mate, well, it's no for me. No in a Rangers jersey, but we'd a massive advantage, mate, and we've flung it away, and we will have to go and beat them twice. That's what I believe. We will have to beat them twice. We shouldn't have to, but we will have to. No. So the form's been bad since we come back away from him the last 4 games. So we need to pick that up and we need to start. But yesterday, mate, for me was criminal. Flinging away 2 points to Dundee and giving away 2 points. We already learnt a lesson at the start of the season. Now we're getting to the business end and we're still donating points to them, mate. It's not good enough. Yeah. It's not good enough, mate.
What's the problem then, Southside? Is it defence? Is it the midfield? Or is it the
midfield? We obviously had Jack and Lundstrom back. It was about creating. Obviously, you're coming back off a European game. It is hard to try and, you know what it's like. We've played European games before. Sometimes we struggle, but we do win, and I think we've been beat the odd game coming back after European games. But we've struggled more and managed to get a result more than most. I think he should just have changed it slightly a wee bit and had a bit more fire down the wings and gave them a bit more problems, mate.
Who would that be? Sakala starting on the right?
Probably Sakala, aye. He's like a tap and all when he's out there. He's either hot or he's cold, mate. It's like all wingers, you know, but he scored goals, he's contributed, and he caused them problems yesterday. So probably him on and maybe gave Arfield the rest at the time.
Fair comment. Come back, Juicy, then we'll go to Bridgeman.
Yeah, I think Sakala gives us a lot of good options, to be fair, and he did look good when he came on. Obviously, he didn't feature heavily on the Thursday. One thing I am worried about, I don't want to say worried. I don't think that's the right term. But if we do go through on Thursday, obviously we're going to have another round of Europa fixtures and that. And I want to stay in Europe as long as possible. I don't want to get knocked out, obviously. But there's a good chance that they could get knocked out on Thursday, and they're going to be able to solely concentrate on the domestic if that happens. And we're going to have to use our squad to a better level than we've done this week, and that's really hard when our first 11 is somewhat more solidified now, and maybe he doesn't want to go to the bench as often. But there are players like Fashion and Roof who, when they're fit, I know Roof's made out of glass, when they're fit, we know how good these guys can be. But Fred is on droppable at the moment. Kent's looking good again, and he was good yesterday, as per Bridgeman's score. But we're going to have to change it up sometimes, because these guys, we're going to run them into the ground. If we're going to be hitting it hard on the Thursday-Sunday grind, we've been doing this for several years now, so we all know what it's like. And last year, we were so far ahead in the title race that it wasn't so much of an issue. But, I want them to go through on Thursday. Some people in the comments on YouTube are saying, if we win the Europa League, we'll get in straight automatic on the champions. Of course we will. I'm not quite thinking that far ahead just yet. Let's get into the 16 and see where we get.
All right, mate, I'll let Bridgeman come in. And you come, Bridge?
Yeah, I wouldn't go so far as winning the Europa League, to be perfectly honest with you. I think yesterday's performance, for me, great, brilliant, exciting stuff at the end, but really and truly, with 30 shots at goal and only got 3 on target. Obviously, that's because the defenders are throwing themselves in front of the ball and the other goalkeepers making a save, which he didn't do. I mean, I don't think he did a shot at goal that the goalkeeper had to save in the first half. And I'm not being funny. I think, really and truly, we just didn't do it. We just didn't. We just weren't ourselves. And yes, I agree. Half time, you could have said to Alfie, look, you just sit down, I'll bring Roof on. Give you a break and let Roof get in there and get tore in.
Oh, no.
Sorry?
No.
No, I'm saying you could have done. It wouldn't have been a problem for me.
It was the right hand side. It was the right hand side where we lacked any urgency. Scotty, maybe as much as we like, as I said it yesterday, we like Scott Arfield. Sometimes he does a job for us, but maybe we've got to be sensible when and how often we play him as well. You know, for us on Thursday.
Okay. But I think Morelos he run his legs off as well. So if he wasn't getting any decent rest.
But if Morelos is there and gets the service, mate, it's service.
Yeah, but you're playing against 10 men inside a 6-yard box. I'm sorry, you're not going to get much service in there.
Personally, Bridgman, the substitution for me would have been Sakala for Scotty, and then when he made the attacking substitution, went sort of 4 up front. It would have been Roof for Hollander when Roof would have been up sniffing about with Morelos, and just left Kent and Sakala.
Actually, that's not a bad shout. That would have made
sense for me. Yeah. Anyway, talking about people who have no sense, we'll be joined with the Malteser kid. How are we doing, David?
Hi, well, I'm fine, guys.
David, how you doing?
Aye, doing fine, Bridge. I agree with everything what's been said, but I mean, we've got to stay optimistic here. It's still doable. We can still do it. I just felt a couple of wee tweaks there were wrong. I think he should have rested the wee man in the midfield, Arfield, because he put in a good shift on Thursday. And that's the thing we've got to remember. That was some game they played. And then they're only 2 days now they're playing on a Sunday afternoon. I still think I would have put Aribo in the middle and brought in Sakala to start with. And what I'd like to ask you is, why is it that we always lose the corners and crosses? And it's always the same thing. We don't put a man on the line. You'll get a 40-year-old goalkeeper and he'll not come off his line.
I think that's a worthy of discussion. Southside.
We know about Alan McGregor, Davey. He doesn't come out for many crossbows at all. He sometimes tries to punch them, but he's a shot stopper first and foremost. So that I thought Hollander just got the run on him slightly about the boy for the corner. Don't know what's happened to the post, Davey. We used to have, when Davis played, Davis went on a post and that. So we have not been in the team. I've not noticed anybody else. Maybe Gio doesn't do it. I don't know, pal. I just know that we've looked a bit dodgy. I think possibly with Bassey being in the middle, playing in at centre back, he's not too great in the air at crossbows coming in and tapping him when he was playing the centre back position. So I think missing Balogun. And I'm going to say Hollander, but although he got out jumped on yesterday, but probably more fitter and more game time, he might have been more on it. But it's been a problem for us a wee bit of time, David, but it's something that if your goalkeeper's not coming out to get the ball or making an attempt, then obviously your centre defenders have got to win that header, mate.
Do you think, I'll go around the panel with this and I'll start briefly with Bridge and then I'll go to Juicy. Do you think the McGregor came for the goal yesterday? Was it close enough to him, Bridge?
No, I don't think so. I think it was right on the 6-yard. Right on the 6-yard line.
Mm-hmm. It was a floaty cross, Bridge. It wasn't a bit.
Yeah, that's correct. But I think McGregor was right on the 6-yard line, and the boy got in front of Hollander with a jump. So to me, it was dead simple, and I think he may have, if he'd maybe seen it all coming, maybe his own second thoughts on it, he may have thought I should have saved that, because it was a downhead. It headed it down the way, so.
The trouble is, if somebody does get a header in that, you're not saving it 9 times out of 10 if it's on
9 times out of 10, absolutely, pal, absolutely.
Because it's that close to the goal. It was a yes or no question, Bridge.
Oh, sorry, pal. Oh.
You came for it, yes or no?
Apologies. No, he shouldn't have. I don't think he would have got it if he came for it, so no.
Okay. Juicy?
Well, I'd rather he had done than what actually ended up happening in that moment. So yeah, I would have rather he tried for it.
Okay.
We all know that he doesn't go for crosses though.
Okay, that's a yes. The Malteser kid.
Well, what I was saying there, guys, actually, I'm not having a pop at McGregor by any means. What I'm trying to point out is that we should have somebody on the line. I don't know how many times I've watched Dee Davis kicking him off, heading him off, just chesting him off the line. So it's not happening there. So why?
You think somebody on the
Sorry?
You think somebody on the front post would have cleared that yesterday? Is that what you think?
Oh, guy, no danger. No danger.
All right, so it's a set-up with you, south side?
I think we've seen the goal back again, Davey. I think if somebody had been on the line, they would have cleared it. I think McGregor did have a bit of room to come out into his 6-yard box. I think any goalkeeper should be looking at getting balls in their 6-yard box. They should be coming out and getting them, but he doesn't normally do it. So I'm not going to criticise him. But we know the story. The ball came into the box, the defenders didn't win the header, and their defender did, and that's what cost us a goal.
Mm-hmm. All right, okay. So 3-1, Bridge.
Yes, Pat. That's it. 3-1. He said yes. Yes,
3-1. You know, I just think no somebody it was a put in, if that makes any sense. It was a look cross, and I think he had time to move his feet and come and get it. If I'm being honest, if I'm really being picky, Juicy, it wasn't a whipped in cross. It was more a chip. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and McGregor's. We know how good a shot stopper he is, but we also know what his weaker points are as a keeper, and one of it's coming for crosses, and the other is his kicks. And that's his weaker points. But, you know, in those clutch moments, when we've needed him on those one-on-one striker-on-keeper moments, the guy is unbelievable. But he's 40 years old now. He's at the end of his career. And, you know, maybe I don't know if now's the right time, but, you know, these other guys that we've got, there's got to be some opportunities for them at some point. It's probably going to be his last season with us. You know, what do you guys think moving forward we should do with the keeper situation? Because, you know, I don't want to slate the guy at all, but
no, I want him to go with a championship and a Scottish Cup medal, hopefully. But
absolutely.
Yeah, but I just don't want him to affect his legacy. But listen, Alan McGregor, Southside, has been a top goalkeeper. Yeah, you know,
100%.
Obviously, one of the things as you get older as a goalkeeper, just it's slightly you just can't move your feet as quick, mate.
Aye, I mean, we know he's a shot stopper, and he's pulled off some amazing saves for us, and he's some goalkeeper, you know. But like you say, time gets to you eventually. Whether he'll be there next season or no, will be up to the manager. And obviously, McLaughlin signed a new contract as well. So, I'm not blaming him for the goal or anything like that. He's been a great player for us, and he'll probably still prove pivotal towards the end of the season for us. So, but we just need to get the form back. That's what we're looking for. But first and foremost for me, we need to get back to winning every game now.
Mm-hmm. All right, okay. Aye. So we'll look to the defensive side of things. Lundstrom and Jack, who were 24th, was, I mean, Aribo, Arfield and Kent, they were more playing like forwards, if I'm being honest, Bridgeman.
Yeah, absolutely, pal. Absolutely. No doubt about it.
You know,
no doubt about it. I think that Aribo, Lundstrom and Jack, I thought, sorry?
Carry on, mate, carry on.
No, I was going to say, I thought they had quite a good game, but it wasn't quite as, I would say, spontaneous stuff as it was against Stuttgart. Dortmund, rather. So it wasn't quite as good. And then there was something about yesterday's game that to me was just a typical game with attitude in it, and we didn't have the attitude. But I thought we did all right.
The park's tiny. There's no space on it. The parking places is you can't hardly stand up. Particularly down towards where you were sitting in the old main stand side, south side, where doing the last third where we were shooting in the first half where Kent was playing. Both teams' players were slipping and sliding. Yeah, you could see all the tractor marks on it. The difference between that and the surface you played on the Thursday nights, night and day. It's not conducive to good football.
Right there.
100%, mate. And plus in Europe, you get that wee bit more time in Europe and all in the ball slightly, But when you're the type of game it was going to be, so
we're going to get the first goal, mate.
Aye, if we go ahead and go 1 or 2 up, then see the ball boys that they were playing about with the one ball and the ball boy was flinging the ball away. They had the same up at East End of Glasgow a few weeks ago. All that, and we'll get it at St Johnstone a week on Wednesday and all. So the plan is you go out and you get the lead. You score the first goal, the second goal, then you can look for more. But if you go 2-0 up, then the ball boys start running and getting the ball for them. So these are all side issues, and the same with VAR and penalties. I don't think Madden seen the penalty on Sakala. I don't think he managed to see it. I think the linesman should definitely have seen it. I think if he's looking across, he's got to have seen it, but he didn't give it. But the issue is we've
100% VAR penalty.
Aye, well, it would be Bridge, but it depends. The decisions are stone wallers, but when you get VAR, it will depend on how you use VAR. You've seen it down in England, the state they get themselves into with decisions, so we'll see what it brings if we get it.
Okay. One thing that frustrated me yesterday, see the corner we gave away. I don't think they can the conditions were conducive, Juicy. And then I'll go to Davy with us for the McGregor to Golson to Tav, and we're only 8 years away from we're in goal, and Lundstrom's coming with his back to the players to try and take it in short. I don't think the conditions or the size of the pitch or anything conducive to that kind of football. Juicy?
Yeah, that's true. That's another thing that I dislike about our play sometimes is the sort of playing it out from the back. When we're on it, we're very good at that, and we are better at that on our own pitch and bigger pitches, of course. But it's another thing that I dislike about McGregor. Again, I'm not slamming him. I love him, but him sort of playing it out and players on the wings sometimes passing it back to him. Barisic was obviously doing that, a couple of weeks ago, and when he was so nervous and that, putting McGregor under pressure when his kick-outs aren't going to be very good anyway, encourages more pressure on us, doesn't it? And against better teams, not saying Dundee United are that, but against better teams, that invites that pressure. And don't forget, guys, Dundee United didn't do that much yesterday. They had a period of 5 to 10 minutes in the first half where they had repeated amount of corners, 4 to 5 corners, and they scored on one. And that was it for the game for them. They pretty much did nothing else.
Yep.
We then put on a lot of pressure in the second half, and we really didn't play that badly. It's just like I said, the decision making. But
I agree with that. I agree with that. Decision making was the problem. Davey, in you come, mate?
Yeah, I can understand what you're saying regarding that, but I'd like to just point out, this is my opinion, that's the best 2 away games I've seen Rangers playing. And to point out this and point out that about that game on Sunday, I still say that they played good. They played good. They just didn't have a luck to get that break. Your goalkeeper was outstanding. And if you're dodgy in the back, this is what I'm saying about corners and crosses. You've got to sort that out. Doesn't matter how bad you gave the ball away and how many, you should still be able to defend it. And we're not doing it. If you look back to last season, that's why Celtic lost the league. One of the reasons they lost the league with Big Duffy and all the rest of them. And we're going down the same road if you want to throw it away. That's no real.
I think the problem yesterday was the opportunity to put the ball in the net. We that's a game that we should actually have won 5-1. But anyway, we'll be also being joined by Billy. Evening, Billy. Well, press your mute button, Billy. Talking to yourself. Well, we'll come back to Billy. Southside, defence or attack? Where's the balance of skills for dropping these points? It's been different, isn't it?
Aye.
Up at Ross County, you scored 3 goals. That should be enough to win you the points. The defence had a shocker. Yesterday, we lost 1 goal. We didn't score enough goals. The forward line had a shocker.
Aye, I mean, Ross County, right? We know what happened up there, and I agree. We played good football the second half, Davy, and we played good football second half to a point yesterday. But did we really play good football? We kept them penned in. We didn't create enough chances for us to get strikes and goal. You know, it's all right having possession and penning them in, and I agree. They had wee spells in the game, and then they scored. But it's not, I would rather have went to Ross County, Aberdeen, and no played well and picked up the points. Same yesterday. You know, this is a business end, Davy, and we're flinging points away for fun, and we have been for weeks. You know, and even in the game against Livingston at Ibrox, if Livingston had scored first, I was wondering what would have happened, because we weren't too great in that game either.
Would you agree with me? Would you agree with the point that you made there about why were they not hitting the ball outside the box? Mm-hmm. It was like they're trying to walk it in. You can't walk it in when there's 11 standing in front of you. So you've got to have a point at
Lundstrom maybe could have hit one in the first half, and he played that across to Aribo at the edge of the box. I think there was a couple of players in front of him. Arfield's got to shoot, Davy. See when that ball gets played into him in the box, he's got to bang that right in there. And that changes the game, Davy. You know, that changes the game. We just didn't win enough battles at times, and it's frustrating, Davy, more than anything. You know, when you look at the performance on Wednesday night and the effort that we put in and the way the team worked as a unit, and then we go up there knowing what you expect up there, and it's just about win the battle and win the game at all costs. I'm not interested in fancy football at that time. I just wanted 3 points, you know.
Anyway, we've been joined by Billy. Evening, Billy.
Evening, lads. How you doing?
Hi, Billy.
All right.
Right, Billy.
All right, guys. Night. Evening, mate. I'll tell you, I'm going to throw one in here, guys, and I can't believe that nobody's picked up on it. We all know how incompetent Bobby Madden was yesterday, right? And he's missed 5 huge decisions, right? He's missed 3 Stonewall penalties. He's missed a straight red card in Scotty Arfield. And the biggest one out of a lot of them, guys, the Dundee United goal is a foul. All day long, I've watched it back 6 times, and the big Dundee United lad that scored the goal, he's got his arms over the top of Big Highlander, and he's shoved him to the ground, and he's used his arms as leverage to jump over the top of Highlander, and that goal should not have stood, and Bobby Madden's missed that one and all. Now, people can say, oh well, the keeper should have came, the centre half could have done better. You can't do better if it's a foul. It's a foul all day long. And I was arguing with guys yesterday in the boozer watching the game, and they seen the goal again. They says, "Wee man, you're bang on. You're bang on." I says, "I tell you, I was bang on."
I did pick up on that, but the same as Dalio's going to there, mate. He played a whistle.
I understand that, mate. Of course, he played the whistle, but what I'm saying is that is a huge decision. He's played to the whistle, which is fair enough, Fox. That's fair enough, mate. Right? But at the same token, the referee's got to see that he's jumped to the top of that he's opposing player.
We see, you're asking. I mean, listen, I think the worst decision, well, the actual worst decision yesterday was how did the linesman miss that pull back on Sakala? How did they miss it?
Well, there's a belt. This is a cracker. This is a cracker, this one, right, Davey. He's Bobby Madden in the middle of the park, right? He's pulled back. The boys pulled, right, I think it was Ryan Kent back, pulled the jersey off him. He's given him a yellow card, right? He's given him a yellow card in the middle of the park. So if that's a yellow card in the middle of the park, it's a Stonewall penalty in the box. Now, there's three officials there, and not one of them have seen it.
I don't think we can blame the one standing at the halfway line.
True, but
I don't think we can blame the linesman. The stand signed linesman. Yeah. Perfect view. It should be. It's a flag up penalty kick.
I understand.
Do you know what I mean?
One at a time. I
can't believe. Sorry, David. I can't believe that the officials have missed all the big... We're not talking about, it's a wee niggle or something. We're talking about five big decisions and key moments of the game. And he's missed a lot of them. The ball missed it.
Southside.
Before he got muscled, I've not really paid much attention to there was a foul, Billy, to be honest. The penalties, Sakala's eye. The one that was a handball, he never gave it. Some might not have gave it. I expected to get it, although the ball wasn't going towards the goal, but it still hit his hand. I think he moved his arm into an unnatural position, and I have seen them give. The other one, I think the boy was rolling about the deck when it hit his arm. I think, is that the one you're talking about? The third penalty. I'm not. I mean, you must. Do you know what, Billy? He should have booked Hollander. Hollander took out McNulty or something. By the way, in the first half, and he didn't book him. You know, he was just incompetent about the part. Ryan Jack's tackle and all. You know, the one that you're talking about, Mulgrew done.
That was a booking.
You know what he booked Alfie for when the boy was blocking him, trying to run across the park twice, and then he pulled Alfie back and booked him when the boy was blocking him. I think he'd already been on a yellow card. I just think a lot of this. I don't think he's seen the Sakala pull, but the linesman should definitely have seen it because he's got to be looking across the line for offside for a start. So he's got to have seen that. In my opinion, I don't know how he wouldn't have seen it. But Billy, I just put it down to we could great and moan about officials and what we get and what we don't get. See, at the end of the day, we didn't win that game because we didn't score enough goals, and that's what matters, mate. To me, you know, we've got to score the goals, and if we get a penalty, we've got a chance of scoring one. But we've got to go out there and put the game to bed early, mate. We've got to be winning games by half time, you know, going forward, starting well, obviously Thursday in Europe, but for the league game against Motherwell, for me, the league's the most important thing, and that's where we need to start winning every week.
When you come back,
sorry, mate. Cheers, buddy. I just didn't think it was your day yesterday. I think we created enough chances to win 3 games. I mean, see that one? It came out all right. Get called for offside. It hits the Rangers players. It hits off the Dundee United player. It comes back off the post. You know what I mean? I says, "Who looks out today?" And I'll tell you something better than that. The park was like a quagmire, and I mean a quagmire. That's how when they were trying to play nice wee passes, when they were hitting it too hard and it was going away past them and it was coming, the ball wasn't getting there. And that's how I think, all right, we could say maybe Scotty Arfield should have got his shot away quicker. On a decent surface, he would have. But if you watch that one and all, the ball gets stuck between his feet, so he can't get his shot off because it's in between his feet, eh? But
Billy, honestly, I thought
he'd a quiet game, eh?
Billy, he should have buried it, mate. Honestly, he had time. He had it. Honestly, I thought he should. I mean, he had enough time to try and pass it to Alfie. He should have shot, I thought, mate. But it's all about opinions, buddy. But I think we're all disappointed, you know, frustrated. But
I don't think it is yesterday that's the issue, Southside.
No, it's no, mate. It's a build-up. We've seen it for the last four games.
Yeah, that's the problem. If yesterday, if we'd have won at Ross County and won at Aberdeen, yesterday we were coming away saying, "Oh, it was one of the days we pounded them." Juicy, we pounded them, and we should have won the game, but we never their goal. We had a good game. We pounded their goal, and it was just a bad day at the office. But it's when you add in the other factor to it, everything becomes exasperated. Juicy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Oxshare. The non-penalties obviously winds us up more. Of course, it does. I mean, I remember a number of years ago losing 1-0 at home to Dundee United in a game where we absolutely pounded them for the entire game and we lost 1-0. And fortunately that doesn't happen too often in football, because otherwise I don't know my heart could take it. But you get these results where, I know it ends up being the same result and number of points as we got in the Ross County game where we didn't play very well. So ultimately, what you guys were saying earlier, we probably care less about performances at the moment. We just need to get some results. And if we win every game 1-0 and it's an awful game, we're still going to be champions. No one will care. But I do think we need some better performances because we need to show that we can play because we've got 2 Old Firm games, but we've got to win all the other games because otherwise those Old Firm matches,
mean nothing. They
won't mean anything from a point.
That's how it's a league table. Every game is vital, and that's the problem. We've dropped 6 points away from home against teams that we should be beating. We're accepting we had a bad day in the office and we didn't have our best team out in the park up at that place, but we've lost 6 points away from home to teams that we shouldn't have a problem with.
Yeah, it's a swing of 9, guys, since the new year. And, that's worrying. 3 from 12 on 4 away games. We can still flip that, and they're not playing badly. I'm not concerned about it, but the margin's gone now. They've got to win those games. We can't rely on anyone else to help us. No one's going to help us. We've got to help ourselves. We've got the players, and if we can get those bench players fit. And Ramsey, hopefully he can show something. There's still enough games. Hopefully Ahmad can do well. But as we said earlier, maybe we've just got to be careful where we use him. Maybe we've got to be careful.
I don't see it, mate. I just think he's a boy trying to play man's football. I'll be honest.
You might be right, mate. You might be right.
You've got to be fair. You've also got to be fair on the boy as well.
Yeah. I mean, one of you guys said earlier. I think, a few of you said it, that he should never have started the Old Firm, and
no chance.
We put him in a terrible position probably. And but we've still got plenty of players in this squad who are decent, and I want to see more of Sakala because I think he's a good player. I think he causes a lot of problems. Maybe that is more of an impact player from the bench, but we're going to really have to work hard to get the result on Thursday. Let's just look forward, guys. We're going to mentally break ourselves down if we dissect this Dundee United game.
If you think this is bad, you ought to hear when I was speaking to people this morning. If you think they're having a breakdown on here, you ought to hear them this morning. Anyway.
I know.
Anyway.
Look, we've been in worse times, guys,
Aye, we have been.
We've been at places like Annan and Peterhead in the 3rd division. These are better times, guys, and I'm not going to get myself down until it's done. And
but with your unique support, mate, that draws a disaster even away from him. But listen, we had we're on pie watch yesterday. It's normal at the away games, and I think Big Stevie sampled and he gave a report on it. What was his match out of 10 yesterday for the pie at Tannadice outside?
I met him at half time, mate, and he only had the 1 pie. And I was like, what's wrong with you? He said, I'm just testing this one out. He gave it a 3, mate, and he said I can't have another one. So he only had the 1 pie yesterday, mate. Said they were disgusting.
No, what ham is it?
No, usually he's got 2, and then probably 2 in his pocket. But no.
Can I just come in a minute? Can I come in a minute, Oaks?
On you go, David.
Just with regards, chaps, to the problem debate we've got, I'll tell you what the problem is. We are called Glasgow Rangers. That's the problem. That's who they all want to beat. They come out, they don't. Their manager says to them every time they play like that, how can you not play like that every week? And I bet you the answer is because we don't play the Rangers. That's the problem.
Aye, well said. You well said, mate. But listen, we're slowly building up to the tune. We've got a few more callers coming in, so we'll get a last word for Billy and the last word for Davey. When you go, Billy boy.
Listen, we've got never mind the cup final for the Scottish Cup. We've got 10 league and cup finals to play in our league games. That's what we've got to do, and we'll need to play them like cup finals. And I don't care if it's 5-1, 10-1, or an 89th minute winner to win 1-0. As long as we win the games, we'll be right enough. We'll be right enough, guys. But I'll drop out the call, mate, and I'll let you go on with the rest of the show. But
how did you go on? Have you recovered? Did you do any more autographs?
I've got two, mate. Two.
All right, well done, mate.
Two.
Two more than me, mate. Two more than me.
Aye. It's authenticated as well.
I hope you know that BS.
Double yes. Sunday, my Sunday name, mate. My Sunday name.
Right, okay. Speak to you soon, brother.
Right, okay, guys. Take care, mate. Take care, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye. Good night.
On you go, the Malteser kid.
Thanks, Mox. Elks, for I'm calling you Mox. Actually, you get me mixed up with Maltesers and Mox. Thanks for having us on again, chaps. It's always a pleasure. But always remember one thing. The way, it doesn't matter how it goes or whatever way it goes, we do not surrender. So enjoy the rest of the evening and good night.
Here's Davey. Speak to you soon, Mucker.
Cheers, Davey.
What a man. I think you can hear everybody's a wee bit frustrated. Would that be fair, Bridgeman? Oh, Southside.
I'm here, pal. Yes, we're very frustrated. All of us. Every Rangers fan, all frustrated. Sometimes we can't... When you get a huge game like we had against Dortmund, and we played it right at the very top of our game, and it was just, in fact, above the top of our game, if you could call it that. What a fantastic performance. And then we come into a slider against Dundee United. You think to yourself, what is it that causes that? What actually causes that? How can you... the same group of players would have been sky high, and they should have continued playing the way they ended up against Dortmund. They should have just played against them like that. Pressed the life out of Dundee United. No, just like Southside said. Before you know it, they put 5 or 6 balls in between our centre half and the fullback. Dangerous position. What's going on? Why are we not up there and doing that? Anyway.
But if somebody gets the ball and they just toe punt it forward, Bridgeman,
oh yes,
the rugby they're playing for position, isn't they?
Yeah, I understand fully, pal. But the position's always going to be. I mean, we've struggled against these teams on our journey up. All they're doing is booting the ball up, and the people that boy used to play for. There's a Peterhead who played for McAllister. He scored 1 million goals for Peterhead.
He was right at a decent level, mate. Anyway, we can feel the frustration, Southside, before we get a tune, mate.
Aye, mate. Obviously, we're back with a bounce back ability, weren't we? And then we took it on to Dortmund, and we played brilliant over there. And then obviously, you got there and you let yourselves down. That's the way I feel like the team let the supporters down. Supporters were brilliant up there and yesterday. Yeah. Fantastic, done the songbook, and cheered the team on. And it was just the team that just let us down in the end. Aye, you can say we played well and it looked good, but it's getting the result, mate, and and we can still win this league. Don't get me wrong, we can still win this league because we can batter them twice, but we need to start picking the points up in the league, mate. We just need to make sure that every game from now at the end is a win. There can be no more slip-ups. We've went too far. So it's all about being positive now. But we can still definitely be champions, mate. 100%.
You hear? Get yourself on mute, because we're going to have a tune.
I've been in exile for some years, and my eyes filled up with tears when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. So I took a trip along just to hear some famous songs when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. I stood there all alone while the boys all down from home sang of Rangers, that team of great renown. And a sight I'd never seen when they sang God Save the Queen, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. There's not a team like the Glasgow Rangers, one of the famous songs they sung. And a sight I'd never seen when they sang God Save the Queen, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. Now on the field below, the boys put on a show the likes they'd never seen at Molyneux. And it's football, it was grand from Macmillan, Scott and Brand, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. There's not a team like the Glasgow Rangers, one of the famous songs they sung, and a sight I'd never seen when they sang God Save the Queen, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. Now the white flag must come nearer with men like Bobby Shearer, the way he played at Wolverhampton town. And the world forever after would sing of Jimmy Baxter, for on his head they placed that noble crown. There's not a team like the Glasgow Rangers, one of the famous songs they sung, and a sight I'd never seen when they sang God Save the Queen, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. Now I knew it had to happen, I heard a mighty roar, the famous Glasgow Rangers they had scored, and the sky was white and blue, Wolverhampton shook right through, the loyal rampant Rangers had come through. There's not a team like the Glasgow Rangers, one of the famous songs they sung, and a sight I'd never seen when they sang God Save the Queen, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. When the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
When the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town.
One of my favourites, Bridge.
You know, I was only a youngster, a very, very young laddie when that was happening. Wolverhampton game, Rangers played Wolves. Massive game.
61, 62?
Aye, that was it. Around about that time, yeah. I was only a youngster. Wow.
Way before my time, bro. Way.
Me and my pals were saying we're awful happy that we were only 13, I think. I was 13, 1960, and that's when they stopped conscription. Because none of us... Exactly, that's what we're saying. If they keep it going to 65, we're all going to get called up, you know.
Did you not get called up as part of the Dirty Dozen?
The Dirty Dozen, aye. Another jail, but here you go. Another jail, but...
You like that one?
Shade with cold water. What a crew we were, what a crowd.
All right, okay. Juicy. We've got some good football players in my team, and we're fullbacks are nice players, and even Bassey with his physique. Our forwards are on nice. Alfie's got a bit of strength about him. Some people might say like yesterday's game were too nice. Does that make sense?
Well, from an aggressive standpoint, I remember I said this last week how Alfie's game isn't necessarily less aggressive, but he's not getting himself booked as much. Unless of course he's handballing in the box, where he seems to be the only player where that applies to. Could we be more aggressive in our game? I want to see more urgency from the earlier part of the game, rather than wait until we go behind. In terms of like the dark arts, as they call it, which sometimes you see European teams doing a little bit more in the European matches, we actually did do a little bit of that on Thursday night. And although Barisic didn't have a great game, and I know he's been, not been at it recently, on the Thursday night, especially in that second half, he was winning fouls. He was, just taking that little bit longer to get up, which was fine because we were 4-2 up. You don't want to be seeing that when we're losing. But I think some of our players are smart and we do know how to play. But in a situation like yesterday, we knew it was going to be a tough game. We knew it wasn't going to be an open style of game where the team's going to come at us like we saw on Thursday. We're playing against teams that most of the time play that low block, makes it a very drawn out, referee blowing his whistle every few seconds, balls constantly going out for throw-ins, everything that we do being broken up. And it makes it turgid to watch. I think we've got the ability to be aggressive when we need to, but you've got to be careful because with these referees, they're liable to do anything. And we know that Alfie's a marked man. And, I just don't want to be giving them decisions to make,
I thought Alfie's booting was a farce yesterday, Southside. I did.
Aye, mate. Aye, I think the boy was blocking him off twice and all had already been booked. And I think if he was going to book one, he was going to book the other, isn't he? But he chose just to book Alfie. I think what you're saying, we might be a wee bit one-dimensional where we rely on Alfie all the time to get the goal. We don't seem to put Kent in a lot of times to get chances to score. We seem to wait for him to create for other people to score, So it seems to be that we rely on Alfie quite a bit. He seems to be the guy that we want him in the box because he does score. But Kent needs to chip in with more, and whoever's playing on the right-hand side for us up front needs to start chipping in as well,
You're absolutely right, mate. Kent, everything that he's done the last few games in terms of being able to beat a man, it's fantastic. Where I get a bit frustrated with him, my dad says I'm being too harsh sometimes, but I don't think his finishing is where it needs to be.
He doesn't hit the target often enough.
No, he doesn't hit the target. You're absolutely right, Oxshire. He's dragged a number of shots wide after what are quite frankly excellent runs where he's beaten 2 or 3 players sometimes. And last season, he was putting a lot of those away. But over the several seasons he's been with us, he has been a bit hit and miss with his finishing. His assists and his build-up play when he's on it is the best in the league.
We need about half a dozen goals. We need about half a dozen goals a season.
We do, especially for what's left of the season. And I'm afraid our other strikers, maybe Ruth aside, because I think Ruth is good, but I remember what I said earlier, he is made of glass, unfortunately, and he gets injured so easily. I don't think Itten is for Rangers, I'm afraid. I wish him all the best, but he will be gone in the summer. I don't think we've got many options in terms of that striker line. I think Sakala's really good and he is an option, but obviously we can play him out wide as well. But we are really, really reliant on Alfredo at the moment.
All right, well, folks, we've been joined by Bob. Good evening, Bob.
Hi, folks, how you doing? I've just been listening to the show. Aye, Bridge, all right, aye. I've just been listening to the show and you've just been reiterating what I've been thinking. Two different environments. For the glory of Dortmund, it was a great spectacle to be a place to play football. Back to that place with a ploughed field, a swirling wind and 10 men behind the ball. 2 different environments, and unfortunately yesterday we couldn't handle it, which wasn't helped with the incompetence of Madden and the linesman. We can't go blaming referees and linesmen every week, lads. We had the chances to win the game and we didn't take them. Couldn't do it. Simple as that. The young boy from Manchester United, I'm afraid, I'm sorry, he'll need to go back there. He's no good to play for Rangers. No picking on the laddie, I'm just stating a fact. I think he's all noticed that yesterday. And
he's trying to play men's football.
Aye, yeah. And try to play 5-a-side football in a man's environment, aye. Can I ask you all one question? And I know what the answer will be. Do you think this is over with?
No.
No, absolutely not. The press does, the media does. No, it's no. No, we're a long shot. They're 33 points up for grabs here. And we've got to roll our sleeves up, look at the big picture and really go for it. We've been playing well. We played well yesterday. Didn't we play badly? We played well yesterday and we've got it all in front of us. That's no done and dusted yet. Nobody a long shot. We'll see what it's like when it comes to the bottle in the final days of the thing. The only thing is, what we can't slip and we need to keep in there. So let's concentrate on this big game on Thursday and see how it pans out.
You're a study of the game, Bob, Gia, and one of the most intellectual callers we get. No offence to you.
Oh, dear. Right.
Well, to be fair, Bob, it's not a very high base, so don't take it as a compliment. Right, so...
right. No, right. Carry on.
Our University Challenge team. Right, okay. Right, okay. Put my finger on our south side. What's the issue? Is it a defence? Is it a midfield? Is it the attack? Or I expand it further out. Is it attitude or is it tactics?
Oh, well, I think you've just covered the whole spectrum there, Ox. Huh? We're just off beating Hearts 5-0. Walking through Hibs, no problem. We should have scored more goals that night, right? You know? Walking through Hibs, no bother. And knew we'd dumped one of the best teams in Europe. I mean, it's no, but it's just been this last month. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I hear he's all in the show. I'll try to analyse it. I hear the boy go on about, was it Billy said that he thought Hollander was spoiled? Some of you think that McGregor might be past his best. The midfield is Jack quite fit enough yet? I would say so, because he's been playing great before he come back. Yeah, I hear you talking there about the forwards. Aye, we are too heavily reliant on Alfredo. We don't have a big presence in the box. You know, like we used to have with Haley. We don't have a big presence in the box. That's a bugbear for me. I'm not advocating fling high balls in the box all the time, but we didn't have, you know, like a huge presence here that can lay balls off to sort of a minuscule strikers. I feel we're a bit weak there, and Kent doesn't chip in with enough goals. Everybody chips in with enough goals except for Alfredo. We are too heavily reliant on him. Yeah, definitely. So sorry.
No, carry on, Bob. Carry on.
So, as a combination of things doing through the team, but the team has been. But recently we've been doing great. But you know, I'm as angry, hot, and frustrated. And the upshot is we are where we are, and it isn't unsurmountable. No way any man means we can still do this shit. But that's 5 points we shifted to that lot. Dundee United, a mediocre side like them. Yeah.
The funny feeling is that the performance yesterday was a lot better than the last time we went there. But the
last twice, aye. For the two penalty to sink them at Ibrox. The performances were the best. We absolutely battered them yesterday. It wouldn't run. There's days it'll run for you, days it didn't run for you. It ran for us against the Hertz. We buried them 5-0. It wouldn't run yesterday. It wouldn't rick it. Every time we were near it, you know, somebody who Dundee United got a challenge. You've seen it. I didn't need to explain it to you. It just wouldn't run.
That's the two games we went there in the league south side, both after European games. One away to Malmo and one away to Dortmund. Is that a factor for you?
I think we've always struggled a bit in games at times after the European games. It does take a lot out of the team, the travel and that. It takes a lot out of the supporters, I know. But aye, I mean, when you come back, I just look to get the 3 points after a European game. I never worry about performance, because I know if you're using the majority of the same players and then you're asking them to go again the following week, and that's when you've got to judge. I think you've got to judge that game with who you're playing in Dundee United. But I thought you could have freshened that slightly. But when I seen the team, I thought, right, okay, maybe get a goal or two up, and then we can get a few of them off, because they've obviously had a hard game. I thought Jack might have been able to have come off the park, give him a bit of a rest in that, and probably Hollander at some point, because I thought, hey, well, seeing that when they're marked, there's more getting minutes into him, but because the game wasn't going our way, we had to take him off and try and get a goal back. So I think the European games, mate, they have a factor in it, but it's about just grinding it out and getting the 3 points, because you've got to keep in the league race, you know.
I get it, mate. I get it. It's just coincidence that we played them twice, away to Malmo and away to Saturday 12 o'clock, Sunday 12 o'clock, Wednesday kick-offs, Thursday kick-offs, you know.
Aye, I think it just takes up a lot of your energy, mate, in the games, you know, and I think that's where it comes down to.
Have a look at the fixtures after European ties. It makes them interesting leaving. Not that I'm one for spreading theories or anything.
shocker, isn't it?
What do you mean, Bridge?
I know that I'm one for spread now, right? Okay.
No, not at all. Not at all. Just watch the press. Watch the press. You never know what's going to happen. Right, okay. Bob Jen, I thought Calvin Bassey, again, had an excellent performance at left back.
Oh, aye. Yeah, definitely. He's a far better left back as a centre half. Yeah, look at him on Thursday night in Dortmund. He's a big asset to us, that lad. He's a good player. And if he's going to be versatile, well, so much the better. Aye, a really good game yesterday. But I hear Billy earlier on saying we never even had an effort at goal in the first half, and he doesn't remember the Dundee United keeper making an absolutely outstanding save or anything like that. It was all pressure, pointless pressure yesterday, and we just couldn't convert into goals, and that'll need to be addressed. You know, well, I mean, happens though the answer. It's all been said. I'm not going to reiterate it all again. We'll just have to go up with where we are and try and make up the deficit. Simple as that.
All right, we'll be joined by Jim Paisley. I don't know, you something on in the background, Jim?
Hold on, right back. Boys, I've been listening to the show on the TV. I'll get that sorted out.
Rowdy, you've got a TV, well done, mate. Letting everybody know, you know what I mean? You've moved on a lot.
It's black and white, 14-inch. You know.
All right, mate. Listen, I've told you before, size doesn't matter. Just the size of your screen, you know what I mean? Anyway, what's
That's sorted now, is that better? Oh.
Carry on, mate. The floor's all yours, James.
What was I going to say? Regarding the game of the week, I'm listening. I wasn't going to phone in, right? I wasn't going to phone in for an half-40 after I disappointed the weekend because I'm in a bad mood. But it's fantastic call, as per usual, you usually get. I'm worried about this manager again. I'm getting back to this stage again. Don't get me wrong. I was surprised they played that team, basically the same team he played against Dortmund, right? I thought I gave them all a rest, and I thought to myself, that's a bit of bottle, bringing up basically the same team apart from Mulligan, right? I said, here we go. They played well against Dortmund, fantastic. Here we go again. He's gone for it, big time, but it backfired on him all year. I think Alfie could have played to midnight and no put the ball in the net yet. Don't get me wrong, there wasn't any disappointments for me, football player wise, on the park. But they'll go to the 50th minute. I said, we need to change this midfield.
It was the right-hand side for me. The right-hand side of the attacking was the problem, and that was Scotty was playing. It just wasn't happening, in my opinion. But I'll take your point about Gio, his south side.
Well, Jim, we were all people on here were happy he was going to get time to work with the squad, remember, during the winter break. And you get things, you tweak things and we sort things out. And up to now, we've had a couple of Thursday night against Dortmund, right? Europe, good performance, amazing performance to go away there and win. But that aside, beating Hearts, like Higme said, we've struggled in some of the games, you know. It's probably the balance of the team. Some players have not played as well. On Thursday night, everybody played to a man as a team unit. But, you know, Sunday's just, it's not acceptable, Jim, that we're dropping points up there at Tannadice. It shouldn't be happening. We should be winning 8 games, and you've got to create the chances, and you've got to give the striker like Alfie a clear-cut chance to stick the ball in the net. But Arfield was a sinner in the first half for me. When he got that chance, he should have shot and probably buried it or forced the keeper to make a save instead of trying to tap it into Alfie. So, no, mate, we've not created a lot of chances in games lately. And it's just we're dropping points with other place and needs to get rectified quickly. So Gio needs to get it sorted out, mate. And as for Dalio, mate, if you're going to go into a 50-50 tackle and then stop running when you think you're offside or something's flowing in your eye or whatever he was trying to do and say to Alfie, say to Tav, no for me. And he should have been more aware when he was running in and goal. He must have heard Zakala screaming up and all, probably across the park. He never looked up once when he had the chance to square it. If he squares that ball, it's a tap-in. It's all about awareness when you're playing for us. I know he's a young boy, he's supposed to have a talent, but we're not a project to bring on a talent for another club. We're Glasgow Rangers and we need to win this league. And for me, we need to play players that have signed for us and want to play for us and no projects for the other clubs, mate.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, Southside. You're exactly right what you're saying. I've been saying this for, I don't know, a few weeks now. We don't need, what do you call them, trialists and the people they bring in. We've got a league team in here, Southside. Now that's, I don't like slag players, young boys, okay, but we've got better players. We've got better players in our squad. You know, bring people from Manchester United or wherever they want to come from. We've got better players on our Southside.
Aye, I think you're right, mate. I think what we've done is we've brought a boy up to play in a man's football, and no disrespect to the boy. The boy might go in and shock us, Bridge, in the future, but what we're seeing now, he ain't ready to play in our first team, is he?
I think our manager has probably seen the error of his ways selecting the boy to play there. I've said it all this season. We're bringing people in. There's only certain people, in my opinion, when you're going to play them, you've got to play them at Ibrox. You can't play them anywhere else. Because you get frightened with the crowd, they really do. And the atmosphere is just terrible. And all the things that go wrong. That boy must have been watching that referee and going, what on earth is happening here? God, it's half a dozen solid 100% fouls and bookings and maybe sending off and penalties. And no getting them. You're right. So that goes against the boy's side as well, you know. I just see it happening. I can see us not playing that boy. Certainly I wouldn't play him away from home. I would not play him away from home.
Don't want to turn in as a witch hunt against the boy because he is a young kid. No. You know, I think that's right, Bob Chair. But listen, I'm being polite when I say it. I just don't think he's ready to play in our first team. Yeah?
Well, I think we kind of misinterpreted when he came here at first. He scored at Ross County. We all know the defence lads in Ross County.
He done all right.
He did all right there. Aye, Alan McGregor. I mean, by the end of the day, how many times, I'm not going to go about how many times he said they're top people. But we all got visions on the Wednesday night about that laddie ripping that Taylor and Union, you know, and it didn't harm. He should never have played in that game. And he's up here in the SPL, as you say, where challenges fly in and referee and all the stuff that goes with it. And you could be right. It could be in the laddie sees, what the hell am I doing here? I don't know. Again, I'm not going to turn into a witch hunt about the laddie. I thought he'd have been better by going with Scott Wright yesterday, or he can the score, right? But hindsight, great thing. We'll just have to put it behind us where we are.
Yeah, again, I'll come to Jim after that. I'll say it before, and I said it yesterday, watching the match. The substitution was Sakala, and if you wanted to go with two up top, it was bring Roof on, and that's what he should have done. The boys shouldn't have got in the park, only my opinion. Jim?
I was going to say, also, he brought Scott Wright on against Dortmund. They got a kick of the ball. He broke on the last minute. I don't know the point, but that was... Do you remember that?
No, it was to slow the game.
Just to waste time. You have to waste time. Oh, mate, he wasted time bringing that. I'll bring it up. I hate to say it. God love the boy. He's got a blue jersey on. He's up to making a name for himself. He's not going to make his name for himself. He's not going to make a name for himself playing for Rangers. The Manchester United must say, I wonder why they did that in the first place. He's not a wee lightweight guy. Good luck to him. He made a game for Nielsen Jr. or something. We'll do that again with Rangers.
Oh, I don't know if he was surviving real junior football, you know, but Southside. I don't listen.
No.
Well, yeah, you know what I hear? Southside, you know what I'm talking about? This is if you want to play football, real football, go and get a game, a junior game.
Jim,
for Glasgow Rangers.
Jim, I just think, right, he came up, he got flung in against them, right, which he probably shouldn't have done in that type of game. And he scored a goal at Ross County. The boy probably has got some talent in that, right? But we're going for a league championship here, Jim. We need players that want to fight for the cause, you know. And yesterday, when there's a 50-50 ball to go for, and he doesn't go in for it, then to me, that's no fighting for the cause, mate. You know, he's got to understand that a draw yesterday isn't acceptable for a club like us. You know, we don't tolerate draws. We want wins, and we need wins because we've had enough draws and shipping points here, there, and everywhere, mate. So for me, no, he's probably a talent. He probably going and do well in the game, but we need players that, like you said, Scott Wright. He's been off the boil and he's maybe out of Gio's plans, but he knows what it's about, and he could have maybe go to them yesterday. Or like Ox says, probably Roof was the one to come on when it was tight defences and the ball was loose, now and again bobbling about. He might have been the player that could have got the ball forward and stuck it in the net for us. That's down to Giovanni. He picked the players and he put the subs on. So things have to improve, Jim. That's what I'm saying. It needs to improve quickly.
Aye, so the management, they're making the wrong decisions. Southside, as far as I'm concerned, he made the wrong decisions yesterday a few times. I thought he could have took off. See, I was considering even taking Jack or Lodstrom off yesterday. See, into the 30th minute, because that wasn't working for me yesterday. He would take one of them off and bring a runner on. Okay, he did take his fucking name. Never mind. He could have made different changes. That's what I'm trying to say. I was so upset yesterday.
It was so obvious for me. We're going to let you go because I don't like to see a grown man cry, mate. You know what I mean?
All right, okay. Thanks for taking my call. No, I'm not going to be over it till. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing also, just before I leave you. Get your money on Aberdeen against Dundee United, but Aberdeen will probably help them next weekend because they don't win two games in a row after they play Rangers.
Well, they put everything they had yesterday, but I mean, a battle of two bad looks. I mean, there wasn't an ounce of football for that team yesterday, was there? Not 1 ounce of football.
Yeah, by the way, they've done their homework on it. You've got to give them their duty. That's what we do in our show. Give the players, give the other team their due, but they're not really worth it because yesterday we had enough chances yesterday to win 5 games.
Well, I don't know if we had enough chances, Jim. What we did have with opportunities to make chances.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Oh, well, okay then. I'm just going to go there and say I'm upset everybody.
No, you're not upset anybody. I just don't want you greeting.
I'll be greeting anyway.
You do me a greeting.
Greeting to next weekend. I can't go over it all, I'm not kidding you. See, and then they went and won 3-2 against the bottom of the league.
What's your language on here? Look, you've been dubbed before, haven't you?
Oh, come on. Same old day.
He couldn't remember what one he's been dubbed in. There's that many.
No, they're not $1.
No, it's not yesterday. It's the issue. I'll say it again. It was Ross County and Aberdeen. It's made yesterday the issue. Southside.
Aye, it's been a build-up, Jim. No, we've dropped points stupidly all over the place, you know, and we didn't create enough clear-cut chances yesterday. And like you said, after a European game, Jim, because we were there, I mean, unbelievable result, you know. Seemed the third goal went in, we were looking at each other and just laughing. Nobody could believe it. You know, you're 3-0 up in the performance that we're putting in. And then you come back to that on Sunday, you know. So we'll just go to the
Southside here. South. Right. See, we didn't get that penalty in the first half when their fullback played the ball against their other fullback handball. It's not as if it was it's not as if one who played against their hand. That was a penalty. See, when I saw that wasn't given, I said to myself, this is going to be one of these days. It's going to be one of these days when you think to yourself, how did we not win that game? And that's the way it worked out for me. Did you ever get that feeling? I don't know if anybody else felt that way.
I think when the ball hit the boy's leg and it came off the post, mate, that sort of told me it was going to be one of these days. Anyway, we've also been joined by Blue Star. Evening, Blue Star.
Evening, Oxjay. Evening, guys. Ox, I've had a habit, maybe the last 7, 8, 9, 10 games, of watching the games repeatedly afterwards, trying to digest and pick up on things that I missed first time round. First and foremost, no point in going on about referees. We know what the score is there. Our manager gets that right. Unless we've got VAR, there's always going to be mistakes. And even with VAR, there's mistakes. The 2 penalty decisions were stonewallers. End of. You get them, we'd have won the game handsomely. We didn't get them. But I've got to say, see the month that our manager had us and we didn't have games. Ox, I got back to this. We had it with the previous manager too. I don't know what they've been doing when we didn't have games. We had so many major players that were so-called, the word we get is they're unfit. So he brings in a couple whenever he seems to think he can to try and get them fit. It stands to reason we're getting told repeatedly that we've got a massive squad. When the proof of the pudding is, obviously Gio doesn't fancy half our squad. As Maystays Day, we've all got our favourites. That be said, the bottom line is, we go to play in Dortmund, we got a great result, we played well, but we still had a mega hard game. He comes back and he plays guys, the same team that we had already played two nights previous. I don't understand that. I really don't. Now I get the point where some of our fans would turn around and say, no, you don't break up a winning team. Aye, you do. When you're playing in Europe, it's a totally different style of football for us. As we've already proved to the other mob across the city, that's why we've had success in Europe. That's why we've had wins. Simply because our style of play suits European side football better than it does the Scottish game. That's fact. That's no myth or fiction. It's why we've had good results in Europe. So therefore, you've got to try and get a kind of mix. That's where our managers failed. And failed's a word, because he's continuously chopped and changed. Yes, granted, sometimes it's been through injuries, but you can't bring guys into our side that aren't match fit and then turn around and try and say to cover yourself that, oh, well, there's only one way we can get them fit. We've got to play them. No, you don't have to play them. That's what other games are for. That's what training's for. You can't bring them out again. Southside got it bang on there, Ox. After with more than half an hour to go in the second half, both Lindstrom and Jack were knackered. Now, Jack was knackered because there was 3 or 4 times when you watch it back, he goes for a 50-50 ball and he doesn't get near it. And we all know Jack's got a good engine because he proved himself against the Germans. But the guy obviously was tired. So therefore, our manager's got to look at it and say, well, who else have I got on the bench? These guys are knackered now. He left it far too late.
Stephen Davis was on the bench, wasn't he?
Correct, Ox. And he's not been playing games. You know, so that you've got to think positives. You've got to pick fault when there's faults. And our manager's made faults, of course he has.
Glenn Kamara was on the bench. Listen,
Absolutely.
Before I get Southside to come in and then Bridge to answer your question, I just want to give a big shout out to our own CB, who's back in the lobby tonight. Great to see you, CB, and all the best for all the lads here at Rangers Radio. We have missed you. The one and only.
Go on yourself, CB.
Brian Bear. Yep.
Top man.
Oh, top man. Top man.
I wonder how Skipper's doing with his old pal back, yeah?
Oh, Bud Abbott and Lucas. Bud Abbott and Lucas, they are getting back together. Right, Southside.
Blue Star, I agree with what roughly you're saying. See, when you seen the team, did you think Hollander should have come back in? Because Balogun was injured.
Yes, I on that
right,
one. So
right, we can agree on that then, right?
Yeah,
when we went to midfield, right, because of the way Jack and Lundstrom had played and the way the team had performed on the Thursday night, I mean, it was Borussia Dortmund were playing, do you know what I mean? And we gave them a bit of a go on the hour at times, you know what I mean? So when I seen the team when we got up there and our field was playing, I thought, might have went for a bit of pace down there. No, changed it. Whether it was a Sakala or a Scott Wright, it wouldn't matter to me. I just a bit of pace, somebody to go have a go at them. So I thought, when I seen that, I thought, right, the one change, he set it up probably. We'll get at them straight for the start, get a couple of goals up, and then we can start making changes. But obviously it didn't. Like you said, I thought with Jack coming back after putting the effort in on the Thursday night and playing in that, his legs just were gone a bit on Sunday. We need to freshen it. I think he should have put Roof on earlier. So it's mere frustration the fact that we've dropped the points, mate, and we played some probably good pressure on them, but we didn't create that chance. And I just find as if we're we're not getting through. See, when on Thursday night when it was Barrett, Big Borner was running through it to finish and the goalie made the save. I want to see us put boys through like that for Kent to go on one and one. We're not creating enough for him. We're looking for him to create for Alfie or somebody else, you know, and we're looking for it on the other side. So I think that's what we're lacking. We need to get more goals coming from either side, or people getting into the goal scoring chances, because we're looking for it to 40 Alfie. And on Sunday, our field mate was a sinner for no shooting when he got in. It's the thing about our field, he gets into these positions for midfield and he had a great chance and he didn't take the shot. He tried to pass it to Alfie, mate, and that's what he should have shot and we might have scored.
Definitely. I just think that, guys, that we're relying, and he's already said it tonight, we're relying far too heavy on Alfie. And if Alfie has an off night, then we're obviously struggling. But the rest of our players, the decision making in that game, and I'm the first to admit, initially straight after the game, I was going off my head. When I watched it back, they actually played well. It's just that the final decision making for me was bad, not just for Alfie, for a lot of them. It's as if they're trying to pass the buck and nobody's taking convictions of themselves, you know. So I agree with everything you said there, Ox, and Southside, and we can all see it.
Do you know when it started yesterday, mate? See, and I thought he'd been on to have a great game for us actually yesterday. I thought I had him just behind Bassey. He was tabbing here trying to drive us forward, but there was one off. How he doesn't hit the target? He's got to hit the target all day long. And I'm not talking about the free kicks. I'm talking about the one when he gets it 12 yards for goal coming out of the angle. He's got to hit the target.
He's got to hit the target, absolutely. Absolutely, Ox, and that's what I'm saying. Some of the decision making, and that's for our senior players, you know, the decision making, they could make it far easier for themselves. And we all know in the heat of the moment, you do what you think's best. But as you say, there was 2 or 3 times one of them could have passed the ball across, and they didn't. And somebody else has got a tap in. And these things cost you. But going back to what you were all talking about initially, Madden, for me, how he missed the one with the shot pull baffles me. It's bad enough for him, and I know he's trying to watch the rest of the game, but how the other officials can't see that? That's just bewildering.
I tell you what I find so frightening about that. See if that happens if the ball's 8 yards away and you're watching the ball, you can understand.
Absolutely.
But that's in the vicinity of the ball, mate. That's the play you're watching.
Exactly. How do you miss it? Exactly. You know, but they did play well enough. It's just that the final decisions, mate, and then you get a press hammer on the fact that they had 20-odd shots. They might have 20-odd shots, but none of them were on target. We only had 3 shots in target. They were flinging themselves. I mean, look at Owen Mulgrew. Goodness sake, he must have threw his cell at mere bozzing with their goalkeeper bid. You know what I mean?
Aye. And their goal is not bad. He fills the goal quite well. What do you think, Bridgman, the goalkeeper?
Yeah, he's a smashing goalkeeper, no doubt about it. Although I must admit, he didn't have many saves to make, but with the ones he did have to do, mostly by his legs, if you follow me. So, as Blue Star said there, I said it earlier, you know, you get 30 shots a goal. Well, so what? They've got 11 men in their box, and 7 of them are in this 6-yard box. So the chances of you getting a shot through there is quite small. The move that we made to get our goal with Aribo was marvellous. So
good finish.
Wide,
good finish.
Great pass, great finish. Space in the box for him to go and run onto and smash it in. And that's what you needed to do. Unfortunately, I'll say it again, and most of us have said this tonight, we have got nobody on the right that can do the wee tricky things. We saw the difference when Aribo came over to the right and forced round the guy, and the guy was giving us away corners. So he runs along, tries to run along the line. But you need somebody that can do something like that. I heard you saying about Tav. Tav must have had 14, 15 crosses to the right, and I don't mean corners. He never hit anybody. He never had a blue jersey with him.
No, I'll give you that. What I liked about Tav was his attitude of trying to drive us forward yesterday.
Yes, he did.
Try to drive us forward. I'm not saying that his final ball was brilliant, but I thought his attitude was first class. Juicy. It's gone now. We need to look forward.
No, I'm still here, mate.
Yeah, we need to pick ourselves up, man.
Yeah. Got to stay positive. And 11 games, Europe on Thursday. There's a lot going for us guys still. We do want to see earlier changes in games. You're right about that, my friend. We can't be waiting for the last 15 minutes of matches. We used to do that with Stevie. It used to drive me mad. Make the change early. And, if it's not working, change it up. And, as long as we play well in matches, and, you can see that, I'm not as upset as I could be. Unfortunately, I was pretty upset when we played Aberdeen and Ross County because the performances weren't there. We can still do this, guys, but we've got to stay positive. And on that note, my friends, I'm going to retire for the evening, and thank you very much indeed for having me.
These people go to their bed. People have started retiring. We're getting posh, outside.
These guys make these stay short. The guy knows how to retire.
All right. I'll give you that one, Southside. I'll give you that one. Juicy, it was a pleasure speaking to you once again, mate, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks ever so much, guys. I hope to be back later in the week for some good news on the Dortmund front.
Okay, speak to you soon, brother.
I'm going to sign you as well.
Cheers, Bob Jerry. You retiring?
Yeah. No, but I mean, we are where we are, and it's no unsurmountable. We've got a lot to look forward to, a lot of games. We've got this game on Thursday night, and I hope we're up and we're ready for it. That'll all be easy, by the way. They won 6-0 yesterday, believe it. So we'll just see what it takes us on Thursday and see where we take the most important thing after that. It's this league championship. That's what we're all looking for. We're in a good position, not an impossible position. So, good night, guys. Thanks very much again, and I'll hear from you later on in the week as well. All right?
Cheers, Bob Jar.
Cheers, Bob Jar.
Yeah.
Good night, Bob Jar. Good night.
I just want to...
I've got one for you, right?
Right.
A big game on Thursday, right? After that disappointment the weekend there, what do you think he's going to do? Team change or personnel changes for Thursday night?
Nothing would surprise me if he goes with the same team.
Same team, yeah. I agree with you.
It might be the exact same team. It might even be, I don't know, Bonner might be back in. I just don't know. I think the maximum will be maybe one change Southside.
I haven't even thought about it. But it'll probably be close to that team, I think, that played out there. Because at the end of the day, we played to a man that night. Everybody was bang on for him. We didn't carry any passengers. So...
See, with 5 subs, mate, that's maybe the point that when they caught. I don't know if it was Southside Both Star or Jim had made the point that maybe we should freshen it up because you've got 5 substitutes. And you can substitute people at any time. Half time, 30 minutes gone. You could bring 2 players on if you tell it wasn't going right. You've got 5. You've not got, Southside. You've got to use.
Are you talking about for starting on Sunday there?
Aye.
Or you? Aye, 100%. I mean, Europe's all right. Right? Aye, it's good to go to Europe. It's good to play in Europe and that. And it's good to.
Yeah, Southside. That was basically the same team 3 games in a row.
And that's the problem. That's the problem with Sunday, mate. We never freshened it up.
Aye, we didn't freshen up enough, Jim, because...
Well, that's what I said earlier on, Southside.
Aye,
I was surprised he didn't. That's surprised he didn't freshen up on Sunday. So he's going to the same team again on Thursday again, which was disappointing on Sunday. He must be looking back at himself and saying, "What the hell did I do here?" No, they didn't work out well for us on Sunday. Now, he's looking at his bid. Is he going to look at his midfield again? Well, that's just a question I'm asking you. You're the experts here.
I've been told a lot of things. I've been told a lot of things in my time, Jim.
Where they go that far, Jim?
That's why you get the big bucks. I'm just sitting here in my living room drinking a bowl of vodka.
Yeah, Jim. I'll tell you, right, see after Thursday's performance, right, aye, you could look at it and say it was a great team performance. Go there, like I thought, we'd get a couple of goals early and then you can make your changes, right? So I could see why he went with the team. But to me, the most important thing is the league. So Europe's all right. It's a bonus. Aye, it's a good day out, whatever it is, and it's good to watch Rangers in Europe, and it's good to beat Borussia Dortmund out the first leg, because the tie's certainly no there. But the league's the most important, mate. So aye, you should probably have made slightly more changes to freshen it up, because we had to get the 3 points, but it was about winning a battle. You're going there, you know what it takes to win. If you go to grind it out, you've got to grind it out. I wasn't interested in the performance. I was just interested in the 3 points, because that's the most important. Because that's what it's cost us another 2 points on the road. So for me, he should have probably freshened it with maybe three players starting. Probably Sakala, Hollander came in and played, and you could probably, in hindsight,
Davis for Jack.
Davis possibly, or else certainly had Kamara in the midfield
for Jack. He jumped and have Jack.
On that, then see if he starts with the same team against Dortmund Thursday coming as he did on Sunday. The same team that played against Dortmund in the first leg. Surely then, irrespective of the result on Thursday night, surely for Sunday, he definitely has to freshen it up this time. If he doesn't start with the likes of Davis and Kamara and bring on Roof, they must get a game on Sunday. Surely you couldn't play these same players on Thursday night, knowing that the Germans are going to come out hell for leather against us, and expect that same 11 to go again in the Sunday. Surely no.
This is the problem, mate. I don't think there's, if I'm being really honest, I don't think there's trust in a couple of the players.
Absolutely, Ox. That's what I'm saying. It's obvious when a manager doesn't have trust in them all. Otherwise, he would be freshening them up there. That's my point. There's definitely guys there he doesn't fancy.
I know you're comfy. You should have done it on Sunday, shouldn't you? I'm sorry. I know.
Right on your hand. If you just extend that T, make it into a J, that's Jim, yeah?
I know.
As you said, Stephen Davis has now been fit, at least the last 3 games, hasn't he? Because he's been on the bench, so he must be reasonably fit. He's not had a sniff. So surely somebody with Davis's experience, goodness sake, we all know what we think of Davis. He wouldn't have let you down. Surely he should be getting some game time. What I'm saying is, I'm of the opinion, I definitely do think he'll start with the same side again on Thursday. So surely, irrespective of the result, hopefully it's a win, he can't start with that same 11 again on the Sunday. He can't possibly. Because they'll be getting their order. They're going to be tired.
Well, it'll be interesting.
Can I say something else?
Aye, but the knocks and all that come into play, yeah? Carry on, Southside.
Blue Star, Stephen Davis played today, right, in a game at Auchenhowie. So did Kamara. Right. So did Roof.
Well, there you go.
He played in a closed-doors game, and Ericsson played as well for Brentford, and they drew 2 weeks. So Balogun played 45 minutes and all.
Who scored the 2 goals for us?
Dalio. Scored a Roof missed that. He got a rebound for a Roof missing a penalty. But so aye, some of the players Blue Star got minutes today, so that might be a view to going forward.
Definitely.
On Thursday.
Got to be Southside. Got to be. He needs a pool of players, because you can't rely on the same 11 and 12 all the time. You just can't do it.
I think a few of them showed tired legs on Sunday. Like Jack's come back and he was been outstanding, but I think he just played too long.
I'll be honest with you, once the game had finished, Southside had settled down. I thought about it last night when I was sitting beeling like the rest is. I don't think we were fair in Ryan Jack yesterday.
Absolutely, Ox. Absolutely, because the guy he's been out far too long, and he asked him to play that amount and with that intensity, playing the way that he did with being outstandanding. How on earth could you expect him to go a couple of days later again? You're right.
Can I ask
you're bang on.
Yes, Bridgman.
What did you mean by that, Ox?
I just think that when you've come back from a long injury, you have two big games and so intense games. One with the shift you had to put in a big pitch against a quality side, and then you get the physicality of playing on a bog. I don't think we've been fair to him for when he's out so long. Only my opinion. Other people will say you should play your best team in the for Dundee, and then you put somebody else in. I just think I think it'd be better if you'd have been bringing Ryan Jack on with maybe even the second, even the second off. Just the way I see it, Southside.
I would have put Glenn Kamara on instead of Ryan Jack at half time. That's what I would have done.
Aye. Kamara probably could have started, or he could have went with Stephen Davis. I could see why he went with the team because of the way they played, but obviously I thought we'd have made a sub at least at half time, and he didn't.
Being a manager at all levels, mate, all levels, is about seeing the wee picture and the big picture.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well, this is how he's judged, mate. He's getting judged on the decisions he's making, and obviously he's made a few, like you said before on here. Sands playing at Aberdeen and Dalio playing at Chamber of Secrets, and yesterday's team selection. And then he obviously tried to change it, but he didn't make. I think he didn't make the right subs at the right time, and didn't put certain ones in certain positions that he should have.
Yeah, Southside, can I ask you a question? It's all shadow eye cardiac. It's Jim prepared.
It's not like you.
Sorry. So, is Calvin Bassey playing your back four on Thursday night, Southside?
Hey.
If Balogun's fit, is Southside.
Bassey probably played his best game at centre back that I've seen him play, but to me, as a left back, I think Borna and Kent play well together, Jim.
They do. I agree with that. I'm sure.
I think he's. I'm not sure. I haven't really picked a team, Jim, but
leave that to Wednesday, Southside.
If you've got a fit Borna and playing his potential and a fit Bassey, then to me Borna gives you that extra.
Is there any chance Southside they'll play with three?
Does Balogun play instead of Hollander?
Hollander's not in the squad anyway, Blue Star.
Oh, neither he is. Sorry, neither he is. Well, would you play Balogun? I would.
I think I'd like to play him. I'd probably play him because for aerial balls coming in for corners and set pieces, he's a better header of the ball than what Bassey is in there.
Definitely.
I mean, Bassey will do his best in that, but you want a centre back knows how strikers move in and about the box. He is potentially a left back, Bassey, and he's done his best. But to me, Balogun was fit. I'd probably be tempted to put him in. I think maybe give him 45 minutes of the day and seeing if there's any reaction. And I'm coming up to Thursday's probably a factor in why he's given game time today.
Is Bassey fit? If Bassey is fit, Southside, you played him in front of Calvin Bassey.
If Balogun's fit, aye, Jim, aye. Aye, my opinion, mate.
Are we saying that we would drop Bassey?
Yeah, I would, Bridge. I would. I think Balogun's a far better at centre half.
It just shows you.
Borner's not playing, that's okay. You can stick him at left back.
But that just shows you, arguably my best player in the last two games, and we might drop him by Thursday. We're a tough crowd, didn't we, Bridgman?
Absolutely. Wow.
We're a tough crowd, but I get your point, Post-Star.
But I'm agreeing with you. The guy's been absolutely excellent, but in truthfulness, he's a stopgap at centre half. I would say much as he's great he's been, but he's definitely a left back. But for me, against the Germans especially, if Balogun's fit, I would start him every time. And I know what you're saying, and you're right. The guy's played exceptionally well the last two games, but
he was not a centre half. Why would you play Balogun at the left centre half? Why would you do that?
He's a more natural centre half, Bridge, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. But
as a normal centre half position, but when the ball's out in the left, he's not even great with his left foot. Never mind, it doesn't matter. That's just me.
Well, that's a whole debate for tomorrow night, because Southside, we've reached that time of evening, brother.
Have we are? Quick night, mate. Eh? Aye, it's been a good night.
Good debate.
Aye, it's been a good debate, mate. It's like, we're a tough crowd to please, mate. You know, we want perfection, and we want to win every week, you know, and we don't tolerate many drop points, especially at this time of the season. it's just been too many on a bounce, you know, so it has to stop, mate. But thoroughly enjoyed being on with yourself and Bridgeman, and thanks very much, mate. Let's get into the Jerry's on Thursday.
Yeah. Quick shout out, Jim.
It's been a pleasure to speak to you, brother. All the best.
Always a pleasure. Blue Star.
Good show, guys, and carry it on. And here's hoping for the rest of the Thursday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Onwards and upwards.
Yeah. Over to you, Bridgeman.
Oh, what can I say? It's been a fantastic night tonight. Really good discussions tonight. Some of them quite intellectual, I must admit. I really enjoyed it. It's superb. Really, I think I'm starting to lift myself a wee bit after that shock result yesterday. And it was a shock result for me. But anyway, can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here, on Rangers Radio, every single one of us, we need to march forward, we need to hold our head up high, and we need to go there and beat them Thursday night. We have to go out there and beat them. So everybody, keep it going for the Rangers. The Rangers need you. Keep it going.
Yeah. Can I thank yourself and Southside for doing the show? Jim, Blue Star, Davey, who we missed out? Juicy Bear, and of course, is that it? I think that's covered everybody. Aye, thanks for joining on the show, and of course, Wayne Billy, who came in and joined us this evening. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. We'll be joined by the young team and the old team, GB and GFK. Take it away, Old School Blue.
The English have Charlton, the Irish George Best, the Welsh have Big Davis, you know, Ken the rest. Let the French win the derby, let the Yanks have the moon, but leave me the Rangers, the pride of the tune. They're the idols of Scotland, and each game they play, they try and they fight till the end of the game. When victory's theirs, in my heart they will ring this chorus. I hope that you'll help me to sing. It's Rangers, it's Rangers, it's Rangers for me. If you know a Ranger, you know used to me. The heads and the hearts and the thistle are proud, but they can't beat the Rangers, the pride of them all. From home on the range up to bonny Dundee, just sing this chorus and soon they'll agree. It's Rangers, it's Rangers, it's Rangers for me. So here's to the lads in the royal blue, and here's to the lasses who follow them too. I don't want the hips, the hearts or the selves. I wish them the best, but I'll never forget. It's Rangers, it's Rangers, it's Rangers for me. If you know a Ranger, you know used to me. The heads and the hearts and the thistle are proud, but give me the Rangers, the pride of them all. It's Rangers, it's Rangers, it's Rangers